What's going on? I was just waiting for this guy to get in here. I'm new to this yard stream, so I'm trying it. He's on TikTok platform, so I copied and pasted. I'm just waiting for him to get on. He's having a little issues with it. Hope all has been well with you though, El. Just found out they found somebody shot like 4 blocks from my house. He ain't make it through. It still should be able to work on TikTok, right, El? Like, I'm not used to this. Is the first time ever I tried using it, so I don't know if it actually will work or what. I guess I could give everybody update, excuse me, on the recent treatment. Finally finished with it. Just waiting on. Well, actually, I got to go get the blood work done to make sure it's actually the liver counts down. But the actual uh, place I was working for, they keep playing games. When I first went through treatment, even before I went through treatment, they sat there and acted like it was no big deal. But now it is. So I honestly don't know. They sat there and acted like it'd be all right. The physician be there waiting, and now they ain't doing anything. But yeah, let me see if this guy actually got through. All right, oh, it's definitely not easy, yo. I will say that this is difficult. But I'm gonna get it though. This guy's from West Virginia. He's done time and the surrounding states other than where I'm at. So we'll see. Oh well, that apparently ain't it. Oh, hold up. There we go. There's my man. All right, hold on, I'm adding you now, man. There he is.
Hold up.
You're good, brother. Whenever you're ready. But yeah, this is what the guy I was just telling you all about. It took me a minute because I ain't never used the TikTok ordeal. I ain't never figured out that part. But this is the first interview live that we've actually done on Yard Stream, so we'll see how it goes, and we'll see how it does in the next day or two. It usually takes about a day or two for everybody to actually leave comments and see what it does and for all that. But
What's up?
not much, man. Just another day in paradise. You know how it goes.
Yeah,
It's hot out there, man.
blazing.
Man, it's ridiculous. Man, I moved the air conditioner into my bedroom for my wife the last night. I went to plug it in, went got a surge protector, and it wound up blowing the power. And I didn't know where the breaker was because I didn't know if it was downstairs or in the basement or where it was at. So I had to wind up, and every breaker's backwards. So I just had to start flipping through every one of them and have her yelling which one, which is one of her favorite things to do. She wants to sit there and yell. So I gave her an excuse to do it. But now I appreciate you, man, doing this interview, man. I really do. I'm trying, like I said, it's up and coming. I'm trying to get the message out there, like I said, for this community. And, just trying to share the experiences. Maybe it'll help somebody think twice before they make that decision. That could lead them
Absolutely.
in behind bars.
Yeah, I wish somebody would have told me that when I was young.
I mean, man, people did tell me, but I was hard headed. I got the name box when I was in prison for two reasons. So I wasn't going to listen.
Right.
But hey, you said you did time in West Virginia. I'll just go ahead and let you introduce yourself, man. What do you go by, your name, and I'll let you take the floor, man.
All right. All right. My name's Peter Dante. I just go by Dante normally. 44, born in New York, raised in Maryland, living in West Virginia now. Uh,
How you like it over there?
I mean, it's definitely not my thing really. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, it just depends on where you are. Like where I'm at now is real slow.
I was going to say you're probably used to that little fast pace. If you're New York and then Maryland and then
Yeah.
there,
Yeah, it's slow here. This is like a little coal mine in town, which is probably why I'm making it right now. Like, which is good for me right now.
yeah, give you a chance to get your head straight and get everything in order that you need to. Probably ain't nothing wrong with that,
Yeah.
man. Unfortunately, I moved right smack in the because when you seen that picture, I can believe it. And when you said that, I was like, man, either you've lived here or you sat there and have spent a lot of time here because not everybody knows that street. And for you to
Yeah,
call that street just by
yeah,
its name, bro, somebody just got killed there last night at 3:30 in the
yeah,
morning.
yeah. I was in. I mean, I was in that area 4 or 5 times a week, really, when I was living in Hagerstown. So
Yeah. Well, no, see, I literally live 2, 3 blocks down from it. I live right at the end of the creek, basically, on Third
yeah,
Street.
I forget that little club that's over there that everybody used to go to on Wednesdays.
Exhale.
That's one of them, and then the one that used to serve the trays of beer. You just go in there.
Oh,
And
yeah, I'm only
right,
33, bro. You got me beat a little bit
it was
there.
right by the bowling alley.
Oh man, I know what you're talking about, bro. That's all. Rock and Roll Cafe now or Hard Times Cafe now.
Is it?
Yeah,
All
man,
right,
it's
so yeah,
crazy,
that tells you how old I am, then.
bro. That bowling alley, that's where I was at. I left there the night I originally got locked up and called all my time. I literally left there and went to my apartment, and it just was downhill from there.
Yeah, I actually never got in any trouble in Frederick. I got in trouble in Myersville. I got pulled over a couple of times coming through Myersville, but that's about it. But
I mean, I usually didn't get in trouble inside the city. All it took was that one time. Thankfully, I never get in no trouble in Baltimore. But I mean, that didn't stop me from having to go to DOC though. But that's just how it goes.
yeah, I mean, every time I got stopped in Baltimore, like I never had anything that they cared about. You know what I mean? Like they would usually take it and put it in their pocket or throw it in the storm drain or step on it or
Yup,
something.
just keep it going.
They locked me up one time when I was down there, and I was in central booking for about 6, 7 hours or whatever. And I mean, there was more dope in booking than there was on the street, so it really didn't even matter.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. When I went through there, it literally took me to go to like the little rehab tier, whatever you want to call it, for me to actually get to finding anything that was wide open because I was stuck up Hagerstown, and then once they sent me to Jessup area, it was
Yeah.
on and a wrap after that.
The only time I actually ever tried to get any kind of rehab when I was back in that way, I tried to go to Mountain Manor, and
Yeah, right up there in Emmitsburg. Yep.
yeah, and I tried to go there. I was in jail at the time when I tried, and they wouldn't let me. The courts wouldn't let me. They said that I needed something more intense and longer than 6 months. So my sister and them tried to get me in a place in Florida, and they were like, "Look, this is doing too much." They were like, it was a probation violation, so they just gave me the time on that, and it was only 60 days. So I was like, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, and that's what kept happening. I kept getting like all these little bits, 60, 90, 6 months, 30 days, 15 days, 30, 60. And that, I mean, that's just enough to clean up and then go back out there and start over.
Exactly. Yep. That yeah. You're exactly right. The installment plan.
Yeah, I mean,
I
that
hated Frederick County
was a
Jail,
bunch
man. That place was a nightmare. That place was
little dumb
just
stuff. So I never, I never really paid any consequences when I was young. And then my people had money, so like they always bought my way out of trouble. You
yeah.
know what
I
I
know that
mean?
feeling. I definitely know that feeling.
I mean, they couldn't buy me out of a wire buy, but I mean, they
Well, $250,000 bail. I mean, I settled on that one, but
yeah,
it,
yeah.
it
I had
happened.
like my whole thing started going downhill. I caught a heroin distribution in Hagerstown at the end of 2002, and everything kind of clicked over into 2003. Like, and I went around just like people owing me money, this and that, little bits and stuff, and my little thought I was hard ass, like was running around trying to collect money off people, and I ended up robbing somebody in Martinsburg. That's how I ended up in West Virginia. And,
Understandable. I actually went on a run when I was running on my violation of probation. I actually ran to Martinsburg, but bro, I didn't really know anybody there. The person that I was with, he was on the run.
yeah,
Kind of sounded like the same deal, and I was just like, man. And
yeah,
then I came back over the border, and they wound up. They literally caught me on Market Street, passed out. I didn't even know it. I woke up and had the IV in me. Seen the sheriff standing there at the hospital, and I'm like, well, let's see if he's here for me. And oh, he was.
right.
So, I mean, what kind of what security levels did you go through, man? If you don't mind asking.
I was all like, I never really hit, I never hit maximum. I was a medium two in Maryland,
You
and
know,
then
medium two, bro, is max. If you're talking about ECI, that's max. That's considered max. I didn't know that till last week.
yeah. See, I never made it. The only place I ever did any prison time in Maryland, like I never went through anywhere but MCTC. Like
Yeah.
even when I went back on my parole violation, like I left the county. They shot me down to MRDCC, and then within a couple days, I was already back at MCTC, and like they didn't even mess around. Like they just, you know what I mean? Like my shit was pretty cut and dry. So they were like, and back end, I mean, people were going to Jessup mainly.
Yeah,
Like
well, that's
people
where
went and
that's
stuff.
still when they had the cut and all that, right?
Yeah, the cut was still open then, and then when I ended up going back is when they had shut the cut down, and then it was out back at JCI.
Yep. See, yeah, the JCIs were. I mean, I guess you're probably familiar with that whole incident with Pick and all that stuff.
I heard a bunch of stuff about a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? Like I sat in West Virginia for so long, like I would just catch bits and pieces of, like stuff that
Oh
was still
yeah.
going on in Maryland. You know what I mean? So it was hard. Like I remember my old cellie in Hagerstown, he was cool. You know what I mean? Like he was all right. I mean, you know, in at MCTC they don't do a lot of movement. They, you know, you're kind of stuck with
No,
what
they
you are.
don't.
Unless there's a situation, you're pretty much stuck where you are. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, you're. So I'm taking guess you were there when 5 and 6 was lockup, and they were just throwing the strings out the window when they were all busted out.
yeah, well, five was still lockup. They still had the huts over there when I was there. They were getting ready to start housing unit 8
Yeah, see,
when.
when I came, housing unit 8 wasn't into yup.
Oh, okay, so they already had it done. Yeah,
Yeah, they
so
were doing. They fixed 5 and 6 completely. Like they went through each housing unit and fixed them all.
oh, okay, because I was gonna say like when I first got there, when I first got to MCTC in '03, housing unit 6A was all intake,
Yeah,
and like 6C, 6B was, you know, it was a regular unit, a regular tier, and then 6C was the hoppers. It was the hopper unit, and I was still young then, so they had me on 6C for a minute, and then I left 6C and went over to housing unit 3. I was over on 3 until I left. When I went back on my violation, I was in house unit 7. I got in a fight, went to the hole in 5, came back out the hole, went back to 7, got in another fight a couple months later, went back to the hole, and then when I came out that time, I ended up staying on 5 and I was working in the hole. I was over there like doing all the trays and doing all that goofy shit, and so I ended
yeah,
up
use the
staying on
word, man.
5.
That's the way to go, though.
Yeah, I ended up staying over there doing all that. You know, back in my little young ass, I was like, all right, this is where it's all at right here. Everything comes through the hole. So,
Yeah, you was the man in charge there, bro. You could do whatever you wanted, really. You had to say so there.
and that was, you know, I was never affiliated or nothing like that. So I was like in the neutral zone. Like I could go here, I could go there, and it wasn't like an issue. Like I didn't have, you know what I mean? Like so,
You stayed the same way
you know
when
how
you
the
went to West
politics run.
Virginia.
You know how the politics run. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you still,
Unfortunately, yeah.
yeah. I mean, you still do what you do. You know what I mean? Like as far, like I said, I wasn't affiliated. I mean, I had a bunch of different people in different places, but I mean, like I had a couple of guilty by association write ups. You know what I mean? Like I went to the hole for guilty by association shit. Um, you know, shit like that. But I mean, as far as it was just never my thing. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
I completely understand. I
yeah,
completely understand.
like
Like I wasn't ready for that 25 to life, but yeah, I wasn't ready for that yet.
yeah, no, and like I just couldn't. Like I had so much going on. Like I had, like my daughter was already born. Like I mean, I was trying to get out and do right by that, and I fucked that all up in general. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like I ended up spending so much time in West Virginia. Like I'm on paper in West Virginia now. Like I did 5.5 total in Maryland, and I've already done just shy of 12 here. You know what I
Straight.
mean? No, 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 no. The longest stretch I ran was 6 years, 3 months on at once. I've been on a
Yeah,
couple.
that's still a nice little
West
tour, you
Virginia,
know what I mean? That's still a chunk out of your life.
West Virginia lets you out a lot. Like they'll lock you up for a year, let you back out. Lock you up for a year, let you back out. You know what I mean? Like it's just a continuous thing. And like it's time
How
I
are the
was like,
compounds over there? I've never been to West Virginia. Like I've been to West Virginia, but I've never gotten in no trouble. I've never been to
it's
their
a whole
jail, bro.
different, like people in West Virginia don't understand like how Maryland's parole works. Like Maryland, you know, you see them one time and you either get
Yeah,
immediate release, delayed release, or you get put on a map.
yeah.
You know what I mean? West Virginia, you see them every year, no matter
What?
what. You see them as soon as you hit your bottom number, like because they do like a 1 to 15, a 2 to 20, 2 to 25.
Yeah, like yeah, yeah. You do no
As
less
soon as
than
you hit
one,
your
no more
bottom
than
number, you're
five. Yeah.
guaranteed to see the parole board at least every year, guaranteed. All right.
Hmm.
So people, that's
Yeah.
what like people in West Virginia don't realize. Like Maryland, you get denied, you're done. You hit your
Oh,
mandatory. You ain't
yeah,
got nothing. Like and Maryland, you get all that good time to play with, and they ain't shy about taking it.
no, they love doing that. They
Yeah,
love bleeding. I lost more good time than I had time.
yeah, and I mean, people don't realize how much good time you gain in Maryland too. Double celly, good time, programs,
Yep.
good time. Like you get all that shit. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
they got parole. Parole gives you 20 days a month now.
yeah, yeah, you'll get you're getting the 10 off the back automatically on a non-violent.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then you can work the 10 off the front on programs or double celly or whatever it is you're doing. You know what I mean? However it works. So yeah, I mean, you only do a quarter on a non-violent. You're doing half on a violent.
Yeah.
You know what I
But
mean?
now
Like,
you're absolutely right. When you Maryland, when you're hit, and say the little board, the little board that your panel you go in front of, say they give you. I've had this happen. They give you the parole. It goes to the commissioner or wherever, comes back
commissioner goes,
denied.
yeah.
So I'm sitting there the whole time thinking, oh yeah, I'm waiting on my papers, and I got my
Yeah.
papers back all right.
Only thing that saved me the first time, because like I was a little hothead when I was there the first time. I was young, I was wild, you know what I mean? Whatever, doing all that dumb shit. But I saw the
Yeah, of
parole
course.
board. You know, the you go sit in front of one person, they sit there with a recorder, you know what I mean? Like I'm sitting there talking to her, like I'm young, whatever. Well, I had a detainer in West Virginia. That's what I was waiting on. Because when I got sentenced in West Virginia, they pulled me out of the huts and they put me back on that's when I went to 3. That's when they put me back on 3.
Okay.
And only thing that got me paroled seriously for Maryland was the fact that I had an out-of-state detainer.
Mm.
You know what I
So they
mean?
just paroled you to that detainer.
They paroled me straight to my detainer, and I got lucky too because when they paroled me straight to my detainer, I didn't have to go to the regional in Martinsburg. They sent me straight to Huttonsville in West Virginia, and I went straight to prison receiving. I went from prison to prison instead of prison regional prison.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, that's not bad.
No, and but yeah, that's where that all went, and it's
What's the craziest thing you think you've seen over there, man? That you can say, you know what I mean? What's the craziest thing you think you've seen over in West Virginia?
drones dropping dope over the yard.
Man, they would get caught in Maryland. They was too stupid, man.
Maryland got all the jammers everywhere. All the cell phone jammers, everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We had SIM cards running around the hole in Maryland.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We had the little cards you could plug in your Xbox and all that, bro.
Yep. Like we had the cards running around the hole there, but yeah, West Virginia was wide open. Like bro, I mean, it's a whole different world. Don't get me wrong. I mean, people do what they do. It's prison.
Hey, it don't stop.
You still got, you still got the gang shit. You still got the, nobody likes a baby raper, so everybody's beating.
That raving rat and telling all that. Yeah.
I don't know how Maryland is anymore. I know Maryland kind of protected them motherfuckers.
Man, but look, they got the gays and the little flamboyant people. They got a thing called the Pink Stars, and they literally will ship them to MCTC. They gave them their own building, their own tier. Like,
see, like in West Virginia, they're the most protected motherfuckers in there.
See, that ain't right.
You go beat up a toucher, it's a hate crime automatically, right off bat. They'll hit you with another 5, and you'll sit in the fucking hole forever. I know
they sent me in the hole in a year for that because the dude was asleep and said alleged. Well, I mean, I don't went to court for him, got all the paperwork for him and everything. Yeah. But he got that hair grease, boy. He woke up and told Intel, man, from John Hopkins burn unit that, man, he did it because it was a hate crime. I was black out.
I remember when Maryland stopped throwing the hair grease in the baby oil. Putting that shit in the microwave and fucking tossing it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But West Virginia, like the first time I went to West Virginia, it's a lot more laid back. You get a lot more freedom. So people aren't like, don't get me wrong, people are stressed out. But like MCTC, you don't even come out the cell till 1:00 unless you're in programming.
Yeah, that stuff always blew my mind out. There was no morning rest.
I don't know if it's still like that. West Virginia's all wide open. 90% of it's dorms. You know what I mean? Like even like the cell spots, like even when they pop doors over there, like all the doors pop at like 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
free roaming over there. Like it's so much more freedom as opposed to Maryland. Like you can get people aren't as stressed out, so to say, because they're not.
That makes sense. You know what I mean? Because if you get locked in, if you're more accustomed to 23 and 1, then that's what you're going. That's what you feel comfortable in. So
like I said, I never went to Mac. Is Mount Olive in West Virginia.
Oh, I never went to Mac.
Yeah, I never went that high. Like my security levels have always been pretty low because all my shit's always been like either drugs or property crime.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? Like I didn't have no violent charges or nothing like that. So I mean, I've hit work releases, I've hit like road crews, I've hit medium twos.
I got kicked out of Central Laundry. I can't go back there. Period. Ever. They'll never let me back in Central Laundry, no matter if I could catch a bit 10 years from now, knock on wood. But they told me
that's where the drug program was, right? Central Laundry, yeah.
yep.
That's right. Because I remember that was part of the map. They when they had talked to me about a map, they said that was one of it because they wanted to give me the boot camp, but I couldn't because I had a detainer.
Oh man, yeah, yep. That boot camp would have been the way to go, though.
No, I mean, in reality, I mean, 6 months and you was done.
Yeah, that's it, done. No papers, no nothing, right?
Yeah, well, I think when you got, I don't know, I think when you got down there or whatever, I think it got adjusted. I don't think you had it nearly like you would, but I'm not really sure. Like I just knew like the 6 month and you're done thing. So I was like,
yeah, that's all I knew.
Like when I first went through too, if you had anything 18 months or under, they were sending people to the pen. I don't know if they're still doing that. You know what I mean? Right next to classification. That's what they were.
Well, since they closed Baltimore City jail down, bro, they closed the only thing they have now that's in Baltimore City is you go for your parole retake, your revocation hearing, and then they send you straight to Patuxent. They don't really keep anybody there unless they're real old. Like they don't, bro. It's crazy how it's a tower, but it's a prison. Like I've never seen nothing like that. So when I went there, I'm like, man, you could literally go out and see.
I remember being receiving them motherfuckers be pulled up out on the street, fucking standing on the hoods of their car and shit like that, yelling at motherfuckers out the windows.
Yeah, you can literally see the projects out the window. Like you could sit there and watch the dope boys do their thing.
You sit there and look at Latrobe hanging over top of B-triple-C.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, I never made it there.
That was on the Greenmount side. That was on the Greenmount side. If you was on the Greenmount side, that's all you do. You sit there and look at, because they'd always go out there and do the yard sweeps because motherfuckers just be throwing shit in the yard from Latrobe.
And see, when I walked out and went to the day room, if I looked out the window, you could literally see the weight pit in that B-triple-C or whatever, and then you could see the projects right behind it. But it was just crazy. It looked like New York Times Square or something like that from looking out the window. It was just crazy looking. But here's a good question because I actually talked to some people that's got some channels up in West Virginia and stuff like that. In Virginia, I'm not really sure. I always get those two confused. But I'm taking it as you were locked up when the dogs came about and all that. Which state would you say is more active?
Maryland, it's obviously definitely more organized. As crazy as that might sound. You know what I mean? But
I definitely get it. I understand. So like, I'm not trying to sit there and you know what I mean. Because a lot of people are sitting there saying that the ones out of Maryland, they think so highly of Maryland that they try and live up to that name. And I'm sitting there telling them like, it's not like that. That little strip runs, that little boxer runs it.
I mean, I know a lot of people that are. You know what I mean? I know a lot of good people are. I mean, if you go for what it stands for and you're riding with it, look, more power to you. Like, I don't knock anybody for riding on something that they believe in.
Yeah, if you're really gonna stand on that, then all power to you.
Right. If you're in it, be in it all the way. Like, don't go halfway through it. You know what I mean? Like,
but there's so many of them that's no good, bro, that it makes it like in Maryland, they literally lost a lot of respect.
Unaffiliated people that are no good the same way. So it just the ones that are affiliated stand out a little bit more because of that. So people are like, oh, they know, you know what I mean? But I mean, don't get me wrong, like West Virginia goes the same way as Maryland. I just know a lot of people that you know, like I said, a lot of people I've talked to, like Maryland don't even recognize a lot of that shit in West Virginia. You know, you got the handful of people that have went and checked in or do whatever they do, you know what I mean? Like under their whole situation, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you know, people that have like I know some dogs that are about it. They're like really with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
they've been kicked out of every place.
They live by it. They fucking eat, sleep, and drink that shit. You know what I mean? Like, cool. You can I don't knock anybody for that. You know what I mean? Like, but you can definitely pick the ones out that do it for protection. They do it to hide behind something. You know what I mean? And then all of a
And that's
sudden,
with any that's with anything like that. That's with any organization like that. You can definitely
they wonder why when they
pinpoint.
don't complete the mission, why they are the mission. They can't figure it out. Why their own homeboy just cracked their fucking, peeled their shit back.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
a
Like,
lot of it's a lot
not
of
all the
brother on
time,
brother things there. That's what I've noticed from them is a lot of brother on brother. A lot
yeah,
of problems with that. And don't get me wrong, I got pictures with me on the compound with them. You know what I mean? And that's what that got me jammed up because I was fresh. I ain't know. I
yeah.
just knew some people from the street, and that's what they were. So it just wound up. But I
Like
want to
when
do.
I first when I went through MCTC the first time, like you didn't hear nothing about it.
Yeah, see, there's
Like,
just really no cars for white guys. There's just no. I don't know
yeah,
how it is in West Virginia.
like
Does West Virginia have more options? What's up? I mean, I guess that's what we could
there's,
call it, options.
I'll tell you, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It seems like from what I've noticed, like West Virginia, it's definitely more accessible to get in.
No,
Like, you know, the walks are different. You know what I mean? Like, I remember like I grew up with a couple of dudes that are I'm not even sure actually if they even still are, but over in Maryland they was walking for a year.
yeah, it used to be your mandatory walk for a year, and you had to stay with that same compound with that same person. You couldn't go
Yeah.
get sent somewhere else. Your year started over.
And
Like
it
I
was,
remember,
you
yeah,
weren't doing nothing unless you hit the yard.
yeah,
You didn't
yeah.
hit
That
the
was
yard
it.
for that. It's not like that over here.
Oh,
You
they
know what
do
I
it
mean?
behind the door and all that. Then,
Yeah, I mean they're walking in the regionals, they're whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever, but again, it's two worlds apart. Like whatever they you know, a lot of people look at anything as strength in numbers.
well, yeah. I mean, unfortunately there's a lot of truth to that.
You know
I
what I
was watching
mean?
something last night about that. There unfortunately is, but when you got 100 people that ain't no good, that's just gonna get in the way.
I just seen more like you run the numbers, you know what I mean? Cool, you get 100 motherfuckers ready to go, 20 of them are gonna make it.
Yeah, if
Right.
that.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, that's
I don't know. I think, but like I said, like some of the best people I met over here, just what they were. Like, cool.
yeah.
I don't even look at that part of it. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, no,
but
I get that. Yeah, I get
I've
that.
always been
Everybody
I've always
got
been that
their own.
person. Like, I'm not gonna look at you different because you're a blood, a crip, a dog, a b, fucking, whatever. I'm not gonna look at you. No, I'm gonna look at you as the man that you are.
Yeah, I'm gonna respect you the same way that I would want somebody to respect it. If I can look you in your eyes and can, my biggest thing with me, bro, is loyalty. That's the biggest thing to me. If you're gonna mess with me, then mess with me the fullest degree. Don't go behind my back. Stab me in my face, not in my back type deal. That's why I would like when my channel
Yeah,
straight up or
exactly.
not at all.
Like, and that was one of the things, like I was saying when I worked in the hole over there. Yeah, not being affiliated, I can move different.
Yeah, you ain't have no, you wasn't tied to nothing, so you could.
Right.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like this and that watching. Like, yeah, I could move different. You know what I mean? And I mean, it's no different over here. You know what I'm saying? It's the
Yeah,
same.
how would you say coming out was? Because like for me, I got adjustment issues, and from the time I did, they diagnosed me as a paranoid schizophrenic and PTSD. So I tend to have adjustment issues either which way. But what was the biggest thing that you feel you had to overcome when you got out?
Not getting high. That's really my only downfall. Like as far as like skills and this and that, or being able to work, or being like I just couldn't stop getting high, and it turned me into a straight piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like
I understand that.
I'm no
And
different. I'm no different than really any other addict. You know what I'm saying? Like I would do shit because of drugs. Like I'm not that person when I'm not high. Like it's too, you know, you can look at some people like some people are just a piece of shit.
yeah, yep, yeah, that's what they are. No matter how
You know
much
what I'm
hurt
saying?
whack you put in,
Like
that's what it is.
you can definitely look at me, and if you're around me when I'm getting high and when I'm not, you can look at me and see what's causing what. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? Because
understandable. Yeah, that's what my wife tells me. She's like, your paranoia gets out 10 times more because I was just back. My thing was I would go up instead of down. It took me to go to prison to really be able to sit there and go stir crazy to fall into that category of with the dope and everything. But
Well, I wish prison
Yeah,
would have even saved me from that. But like after you do so much time, as crazy as it might sound, it's just like fuck it. It is what it is. Like
you're right.
I've already been through it. You done gave me the worst consequence. The only thing that left after that is dying. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
So
yeah, see, I've OD'd in Baltimore City, flatlined, and then I went to prison. So yeah, just like you said, and I found myself saying that in the past like couple of weeks. Like, what's the worst you can really do to me? Like I've done died and went to prison there and lost everything I ever had more than once in life. So
right.
my daughter, she's a teenager, and she's just we're two different worlds apart, and that's sad, but it's what it is. Thankfully, now I got a good support in the woman that I'm married to now, and she's really my backbone, bro. Like if it wouldn't be for her, I'd probably either be dead or in prison because I would have made that 25 to life
I
decision.
got
Well,
two kids. My daughter's getting ready to turn 19, and we don't have a relationship at all because of me going in and out of prison.
yeah, see,
Like,
me and my daughter, she's 13, and we don't have no relationship
yeah,
because of
and
me going to prison and her mom.
and I can't like as much as I want to be mad about it, I can't. It's my own fault. Like it's just self inflicted. You
Yeah,
know what I
not yeah,
mean?
that's stand up. I feel like that's as a man, you're taking responsibility for
Yeah,
that. And,
like she's made up her mind. She's lived her life. She's been raised a certain way or whatever. And like even if she was to call me tomorrow, like I wouldn't expect her to be like, "Hey, Dad,"
yeah,
you know what I
well,
mean?
I've even tried reaching out to mine, even when I started going through the hepatitis C treatment because it got real bad. Like
Right.
I would fall and bust my face open and in black. Like it was real bad. I was in that bad category of
Yeah.
people that just ain't react to it well. And just to be like, look, if something does go, I'd at least like to be able to have that conversation with. But I always told myself, and I never got no response. So I was like, if that's what it took for her to never have anything to do with that type of lifestyle, then
Exactly.
that's
And that
fine.
if me and my daughter are two worlds apart, you know what I mean? Just like looking and seeing the shit that she's doing, like whatever. Yeah, exactly. Like you said, if that's what it took, hey, it
Yeah.
worked because you know,
Because at the end of the day, we did our job as parents to lead them in a better way of life.
yeah, like I, as shitty as it sounds, me being not present in her life probably saved her at that point.
I'm right there with you. I'm
You know what I mean?
unfortunately the same way, man. Because the way I was going, I didn't care about anything but just getting high.
That's it. And I got a 5-year-old now, and like I went to prison when he was 6 months old. Came back out. I was out for a year, and went back in for another 2, and then now I'm just getting out, and even trying to see him, it's like every time I go see him, like he knows who I am, but it's almost like him knowing for the first time again. You know what I mean? Like the gaps are so there. He's only an hour away from here, but where I don't drive, it's hard. Like me being on
Oh,
paper
no,
is
I
hard
get
to
you.
do. So I try to do what I can. I mean, I'm definitely not like in the
That's
all
all you
star
can
dad
do, brother.
category.
That's all you can do, man. I mean, I've talked to you, and you seem like a real decent person. You seem like a stand-up individual.
Yeah, like I
You
have I have
want to
no
be.
problem taking, like a lot of people like think that I don't take responsibility for shit that I do. Like I ain't got it's like it's people. I guess people want me to like boo hoo and cry and like start screaming I'm sorry at the top of the cliff. It's not going to
That ain't
happen.
gonna do
Like,
no good. Yeah, well, that ain't gonna do nobody no good. And then that's just gonna beat yourself up, man. Believe me, I've
like,
done that to myself. I'm
you
my
know,
own worst enemy.
people want to live in my past all the time. Like you don't have to remind me. I know what the fuck I did.
Yeah,
You know
see,
what
yep.
I'm saying? I live that
And
shit.
now,
You don't know bits and
yeah,
pieces. Like you read some papers. You fucking know I went to prison. Like you don't know the circumstances about shit. But like
yeah, you
people.
don't know what led up to that action or what was in my mind or what I had going on in my life.
And like everybody likes to think that, oh, we're not enough. What the fuck do you like? It's not even like all of a sudden everybody thinks it's about them or it's not about them. Like you don't get it. Like you
Now,
don't.
it's about us. It's about ourselves. There's something literally
Exactly.
wrong with us that we got to figure
Exactly.
out that we just don't know.
I try to tell people like this. I'm like, look, be thankful that it wasn't about you.
Yeah, yeah,
You know
true.
what I'm saying?
I never thought
You
about
know,
it like that, but that is a
yeah,
good way to look
that's
at it. Yeah.
how I used to put it. Be thankful it wasn't about you because you might have got yourself or been around some shit that you just don't even want to be around. You would have got
Yeah,
yourself.
you might not have been able to walk away from it. That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
We're getting ready to come up on an hour of it, man. I appreciate you very much for doing this interview for me, man, and for
Yeah,
these
no
people.
doubt.
If there's anything you would like to say or any message you would like to tell the people out there viewing, you know, go right ahead, man. If there's
Look,
anything you'd like to say, or
the fast life is dead. It's dead. You know, people want to live that gangster life, whatever. You know, the new gangster is stay home with your kids, raise a family. You know what I'm saying? That's the new gangster. That shit's gangster. All this thugging
yeah,
shit, like that shit's for kids. Like, I mean, you know, y'all got a choice. You know what I mean? If you ain't in prison, you got a choice. It's only
yep,
50.
look at us. Yeah, you don't want to be in that situation, man. Well, like I said, I appreciate it, man. I'm gonna give you a shout
All right.
on the talk, and man, I appreciate it. Hopefully, we'll do this again. And
Yeah, absolutely.
man,
Anytime.
like he said, man, just everybody out there, keep your head forward, man. And there ain't nothing that you can't push through in your situation. If you're in the free world, you ain't got nothing but choices, man. But I'm gonna close this up. This is Star Wars Strike, man. Make sure you hit that subscribe, that notification bell. Give my man a shout. Is there any platform you want to put out there that people can get a hold of you on or anything?
Hit me up on Facebook. It's on under Lee Dante. TikTok, Messenger, whatever. Like I don't fuck with Instagram or nothing like that. But yeah, hit me up on Facebook, Lee Dante.
Definitely appreciate it, man. I'm gonna definitely put all the information and all the links in below, man. I appreciate your time and sharing your story. Well, till next time, everybody, you all have a safe one. Enjoy your weekend, man. And brother, if you ever need anything, just give me a shout, bro. I ain't that far away.
I'll holler at you.